and welcome to Evaluation Headlines, our new series where we speak with heads of independent evaluation offices to try and understand how they're adapting their evaluations to respond effectively to the COVID-19 crisis. Multilateral development banks work in different country contexts, have different challenges, and subsequently different lessons learned. In today's episode, we'll try and learn how lessons from the past are helping shape current evaluations and possibly preparing us for the future. I'm very pleased to have with me today on the show Roland Michelis. He is the Evaluator General at the African Development Bank, and Anas Aisami. He is Director, Operations Evaluations Department at the Islamic Development Bank. Roland, if I may come to you first. If we speak about the responses of multilateral development banks vis-a-vis the COVID-19 crisis, there can be none as uniquely placed as the African Development Bank, given your past history of crises and upheavals. Can you draw some parallels between the current COVID-19 crisis and what African Development Bank has seen in the past?
Thank you, Saliha. Africa, unfortunately, has been affected by many crises. Now, getting specifically to the Ebola crisis, where African Development Bank also helped, one of the key issues that happened during that crisis was that the prevention and treatment for malaria was actually reduced. And so you actually had a significant increase in the malaria deaths. Now, when you put things in perspective, so far from COVID-19, about 400,000 people have died. Obviously terrible. But every year in Africa, from malaria alone, 380,000 people die. And so one of the things that's really different about Africa is to make sure that the crisis response does not hamper these other efforts, but ideally should also support those. The impact of COVID-19 has been huge, but interestingly enough, not so much the health impact. The much bigger impacts actually came in the form of the economic effects and the social effects.
Right. So my question to you is, how are you using these lessons learned to respond effectively to the COVID-19 crisis? And what are you doing to support your operations department respond effectively to?
In terms of our work program and our work, given that African Development Bank is shifting something like 70% of its 2020 program towards crisis response, of course we also had to change our program. And so right after the crisis response facility itself was done, we were working with operations to put together the results measurement framework and do that both at the facility level, the crisis response facility, and also at the individual project level. Of course, starting with the most important components, so out of the African Development Bank's $10 billion package, 6.5 billion are expected to go to crisis response budget support. And so that was our first priority, to have a proper results framework for that. The second order of priority, given that it's a health crisis, of course, we focused on the health aspects and how can we have a proper results measurement framework for that. What's also really important is to be clear about the roles. So we as independent evaluation can work on the overall results framework. We are trying to stay away from individual projects because that's really management's responsibility, and we won't be able to evaluate very well if we are too much involved in trying to shape projects. And so that's not our role, that's management.
Anas, if we speak about the Islamic Development Bank, you work in a very diversified constituency, actually 4 continents. What are the specific challenges that you are facing in responding effectively to the COVID-19 crisis?
Thank you, Saliha. Thank you for having me. The main challenge we have faced as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic is the inability to conduct site and field visits to collect evidence. This challenge is of paramount importance as it disrupts the vital direct interactions with our stakeholders in the evaluation process. These interactions provide a source of opinions and insights on issues and lessons, as well as the sustainability of Islamic Development Bank interventions. Amid a few positive outcomes of this crisis is that the Islamic Development Bank Group leadership has increased its demand for evidence and lessons from our previous interventions. This also provided evaluation tremendous opportunity to share with the operations what has worked, what did not, and what we have learned, and most importantly, how we can do better moving forward.
Roland, any early lessons that you can draw upon right now in your response to the COVID-19 crisis? And also, how do you see the future?
On the crisis response itself and the evaluation lessons, one of the big lessons was to make sure that as you approve the crisis response, you also approve already the results measurement framework. That way you can ensure that everyone knows what the crisis response is about, and everyone knows how we should be judging whether or not the crisis response ultimately was a success. And then you have, of course, the lessons from past crises, where, to be frank, this is something that ideally we would already have had in place earlier, but we were very quickly having to put those together. And so, for example, here you have the lessons from the Ebola crisis that we had to quickly pull together in order to inform this crisis response. And then on the crisis response budget support, what's extremely important is donor coordination. And so one of the things that I would strongly urge all of the donors, so not just for our organization, but globally, to work together and agree, for example, on a joint matrix on who does what conditions should be in place, and do that jointly as the donors. Very important also in terms of the reporting for our member countries, to make it much easier for them to report to all the donors on certain things, as opposed to have different reportings going to each donor, which is stretching governments also. And then finally, I mentioned earlier how Africa has unfortunately many different crises to deal with. And any response, in my view, that is only addressing the COVID crisis without using that opportunity to also improve the health system overall and to be better prepared for the next crisis would really be suboptimal.
Anas, you spoke about some of the challenges that you're facing, and you also touched upon some of the positive outcomes. If we speak about the current situation, how are you addressing the challenges and how are you harnessing the opportunities?
Saliha, first we have put on hold all evaluation effort requiring primary data until travel restrictions are lifted. In its state, the evaluation in Islamic Development Bank is focusing more on desk-based reviews. However, we have considered also using virtual data collection tools for few cases. To meet the increasing demand for evidence and lessons for COVID-19 initiatives, we have prepared a synthesis of lessons learned on the Islamic Development Bank's past experience over the last 5 years. These lessons provided astute guidance to operations in the design and impactful interventions in member countries. One such example is from the bank's emergency response to the Ebola crisis in West Africa. In addition, we took the initiative to compile lessons learned from other sister institutions. We have intensified the use of online tools to disseminate evaluation knowledge. We have also conducted virtual dissemination forums for high-level evaluations. Beyond the immediate crisis response, COVID-19 pandemic should be the impetus to sustain the gains and accelerate implementation of long overdue results-based measures to set the world on a more sustainable development path and make the global economy more resilient to future shocks. That's why the Islamic Development Bank response package has been designed under the 3 R's framework: respond, restore, and restart. These 3 tracks include the short, medium, and long terms.
Thank you both so much for taking time out to be with us today. But before I go, I have to ask Roland this question. I've noticed this really interesting bow tie that he's wearing. I'm sure all of us want to know what this bow tie is all about. Roland?
Yes, this is actually my global bow tie in order to best show that COVID is actually affecting the whole world. I mean, as you can see, you have the United States here, you have Africa here, but in your honor, it also has Asia.
Thank you for wearing it for us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saliha. It was great participating to the evaluation headlines and looking forward to the forthcoming series.
And thank you for joining us online. We'll see you again next week with another topic and another set of panelists. Till then, stay safe.